Against Reaper, they go for the Pangolier Disruptor, and, Vessuwan very, very kindly banned the Bloodseeker for them, so that's already a
Mhm.
counter out of the pool, which Reapers do not have to worry about. Obviously, there are still a few other, quite important heroes in the pool left that could counter it. Obviously, Beastmaster Roar, penetrate through the Rolling Thunder.
Mhm.
It's Bane,
Treant.
obviously, position 5's gone. Treant Protector, yeah. We've seen a lot of Treant, that can be rolled as a 4 as well, so we'll see if Vessuwan are going to decide to give that a go or not.
Yeah, honestly, very surprised that Tree has been ignored so far. He has been like first phase material for the past 3 weeks, I want to say.
Hmm. Yeah, like every single time we see it as well, it just seems like there's so much work. You get a really early blink dagger, and then you just land. Like we've seen like a minimum of 3-man overgrowths every single time, and it just has such a huge impact when it comes to those team fights. But Vessuwan, they decide to go for the Snapfire instead. I guess it has some good AoE damage to help deal with the broodling spiders, but there is
Mhm.
just another very, very nice ultimate that the Rubik can steal away.
Absolutely. Yeah, so you get a lot of playmaking capability out of the Snapfire, right? And altogether, like this is once again one of those heroes that Crystal Maiden is going to really fuel up,
Hmm.
boost the activity to the next level. But it does feel like it's not quite connected to what the Reaper is doing, right? It's more of like, okay, we want to do our own thing kind of hero pick than countering anything that Reaper is doing.
Yeah, definitely how it feels. So, okay, so hashtag Reapers. With the Disruptor pick, so I guess, yeah, it's definitely going to be Pangolier mid then, Broodmother in the off, Rubik Disruptor support. So just looking for their carry left. Meanwhile, Vestawan need their mid lane, I suppose. Unless, do you think it's going to be a mid Tiny, or do you think it might be a position 3?
Mm, I'd be expecting a position 4, honestly.
Yeah?
But it could also still be mid. I suppose the Snapfire could also still go mid or off lane, though this is not SA, so it's a lot less likely than it would be.
Mm. Yeah, definitely some good flexibility. I mean, that's generally what we've seen a lot of the good drafts is flexibility, being able to move those heroes around to,
Mhm.
fit the needs that they have against the opposing lineup. So Vessuwan decided to take out both the Viper and Puck. Vessuwan removed the Spectre. And
Yes, exactly. Like the Viper's a really big giveaway, right? It's like, okay, hello, we're gonna play something that doesn't want to be broken.
yeah,
It's like, let me take that Spectre from you.
what
There's
other what other carry sort of jumps out then with the Spectre?
Yeah, I mean, there's a PA option, for example. I don't really like PA versus Slark. I haven't seen like there is definitely a window where the PA comes out of top, but
Hmm.
before and after that window is just all Slark, which does not feel good.
No,
Other things that I mean, nobody plays Luna. Uh, the,
yeah,
the Lifestealer is another one that has some very important passives. Bristleback, but I do think that Reaper was angling for a Spectre here.
yeah,
Just think
that's right.
because they're not getting it.
To get taken away. I mean, they Vessuwan also banned out the Life Stealer as well, which it's not necessarily hard countered by the Viper, but even still, they just taken out the pool. But 30 seconds now to work with Reaper to decide what carry they're going to decide to throw up against the Slark in the later portions of the game. And it's going to be a Faceless Void. Okay. I mean, Faceless Void's good, obviously locking down the Slark even when he drops his ultimate down, but they don't really have much damage to put into the Chrono when he gets the connection. Like, the Broodmother can't really do anything, Pangolier can't do anything, the supports definitely can't do it. Unless Rubik does manage to steal the Snapfire's ultimate, they don't have much to throw in. And Vessuwan decides to go for the last pick of the Doom.
Yeah, the end of this draft here definitely put me way more in favor of Vessuwan. I was on board with Reaper's plans, but Faceless Void without damage into Chrono is just really somebody like he's going to sit in the corner and farm. And now there's a Doom up as well, which means that you're going to have to build Lincolns on the Faceless Void or on somebody else, and then the Doom is going to build Aghanims anyway.
Mm-hmm.
People will suddenly need to also have a bunch of Force Staffs for you. I mean, this is a godlike Force Staff game though. Like I would be very disappointed if the Rubik and Disruptor don't both go 4 staff first, and you also really want to get that shard on Rubik in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of defensive itemization necessary just for the draft. And even if you get that Slark in your Chrono, if he has his ult on, you don't even get to actually do anything. There's a ton of counter for like fighting in that Chrono as well. Like the Snapfire comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Yes.
a rough void pick. It's a very rough void pick.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get it about trying to counter the Slark to, you know, remove his
Mhm.
ultimate, but it just seems like that counter's not really been worth it. As you were saying, it's going to be a difficult game for them for sure. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on the back of RDP here to perform well in this Brood Mother. If the Brood's not making tons and tons of space and completely shutting down lane on their own, Reapers are definitely going to struggle going into this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Fearless, sure, you have a playmaker, you have a good team fighter there, but he is also still a Pangolier. He can't actually cause the fight. He is the follow-up, so RDP is the one that's going to have to pick those fights. Fearless hopefully mopping them up. And they do have a good foreman. If these lanes come off to a good start, right, especially a Disruptor while ahead, you always get bonus kills, is very, very nice to have. But it all has to go right first, and I'm not that convinced that this Broodmother lane is going to go that great. I've seen Slarks do pretty well there.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to a good skill matchup, whether they can actually pull it off or not. And I think the Broodmother should be fine, but the Rubik could definitely get picked off by the Slark CM combination if he's caught out of position. So yeah, definitely have to be very, very careful at where he decides to step on. But we are now in. Are we going to get a potential first blood maneuver coming on now? It's been very, very scarce so far in this tournament. No teams have really tried to like make aggressive moves at the start of the game. Everyone playing very cautiously, and it looks like we're probably going to get the same this time around. I mean, Reapers, every single game that I've cast them, they've done this exact same plan. They've pretty much done it again. They put down a ward in their own jungle to catch people off, and they put a ward fast down in the mid as well, so they can see if Vessuwan come at them from different angles and potentially set up. I mean, they're a bit more spread out this time, but, you know, the idea is still the same.
I'm very keen to watch the rotations of this Snapfire, especially because, yeah, the Doom will most likely chill in that bottom lane. I don't think he has too much kill threat to fear from a Faceless Void.
Yeah, it should be fine. And KMP did scout the fact that there's a ward, but unfortunately for them, they put the sentry in just the wrong position, so that will go uncountered. Nice little small win there for Reapers.
Sometimes you just guess wrong.
Yeah.
And we do have that tiny mid, by the way.
Oh,
So
okay.
BB.
So Tiny versus the Pangolier. I think that's just very slightly tiny favoured, just for the fact that you can secure last hits a tiny bit easier in denies with the old tree grab. But apart from that, yeah, we're probably not going to see any solo first blood kills or anything like that happen this lane. Should just be a slow trade of farm and harassment.
Yep. And the only thing, of course, is that the Tiny might have to have some help with securing the runes, because if you go for the same one as the Pango will always get it.
Yeah, that is 100% true. And I mean, the Snapfire, sorry, could definitely make that rotation to come, you know, try and snatch the rune away. The Doom should be okay on his own for a little bit, so shouldn't get bullied out too badly in that regard. And
Lionax top.
Oh yeah, extremely low already, and that is the CM down. First blood going towards RDP. Okay, that's very, very quick. I was not expected to see a first blood in this lane this early. I was expecting a minimum of level 2.
Yeah, I mean, same, but it does feel like, man, that picking the CM into the Brood is just never a strong move, is it?
No, yeah, it's well, I mean that's just the life of a CM, isn't it? You're always gonna have a rough time. You're slow as hell. You're squishy as hell. You're just literally walking food for whichever core manages to get you. And yeah, unfortunately for Lionax, it's a pretty early death. We'll see how he ends up performing as this lane continues on. We're actually already in the mid lane as well. Fearless, extremely low HP. BB's been doing a fantastic job at harassing.
I mean, what you really gotta know is that Pango is like that in-out inflow, right? Every time the shield crash comes down, hold your spells, or you need to be in a position where you don't have to use your spells when the shield crash comes down, let's put it that way. Now that the levels in the swashbuckle are gonna come out.
Yeah, that'll definitely start making the lane a bit easier for them. And he is now level 3, but no mana to work with. Got the fresh bottle coming up, and pretty much both mid laners getting their bottle at exactly the same time. So both going to get the refill for the 2-minute water runes.
What?
Oh, yeah.
No, uphill misses for you.
Yeah, he tried rolling the dice there, doesn't quite end up coming out on top. And okay, another pick off there, free kill for my 93. Alright, I was literally up top, and then Hong Hong dies. Okay, a little bit of retaliation coming up there for UD Vessuwan in their safe lane.
Yeah, interesting, because it looks like they were trading into the Slark instead of the Crystal Maiden this time around, and that one gets punished.
Yeah, any little bit of space that UD Vessuwan can get to work with. They're going to feel happy about that. And, I mean, especially it seems like they're going up against the Broodmother. You know, getting these favorable trades is just going to feel so, so good. Because, as we were saying in the draft, there's a lot of weight on this Broodmother's shoulders. So if you can try and shut it down as early as possible, it can make a big impact. I mean, actually, we already see RDP at the bottom of the CS, so not doing too hot.
No, not yet, and that will continue probably for a little while longer. The CM is so strong on these early levels as long as she can keep up the aggression here. Like, don't think it's worth it to go on Slark mode. Actually, no, he used.
That was very close. Manages to get away though. Doesn't have much regen. Actually, Kara coming out is going to bring some tangos, so eventually KMP will be able to heal back up, but it's going to take some time. Oh.
Like as long as the CM is not the target, her trading with spells is absolutely phenomenal. But when she is a food. I feel like a broken record.
Yeah, there's only so much you
look
can
at
say
Fearless.
about
He just yoinked a rune that BB really would have liked to have. And that is exactly what I was talking about with the Pango versus Tiny matchup. He's going to do that more often if he can. This time though, once the Tiny is already on top of it, you can't do much anymore.
Yeah, that's very true. I still feel us be able to secure the bottom one, so, you know, both pretty much going to be around the same sort of HP mana threshold, but just a little advantage there for Fearless having the extra charge. But yeah, I mean, this lane's pretty much going as we'd expect. 19 and 7 there for BB to 19 and 2 for Fearless. CS pretty much the same, obviously. Just a slight deny advantage for the Tiny, but I mean, actually, as a result, he is a quarter of a level ahead of Fearless, so, you know, just getting this level 5 slightly earlier, see if he can use that to his advantage or not.
I mean, in case of the Tiny though, it's not like we're waiting for a big level 6 timing.
No, yeah. He's like one of the few mid laners that does not really care about getting his ultimate whatsoever. It's all about his normal skills. Ooh, down to the bot lane. Snapfire nearly ends up dropping there, but able to get away. And man, Toy is having a really nice game so far. 30 and 6 on the CS. Looks like he's been able to easily bully out the opposing laners. And yeah, this is a pretty good start for a Faceless Void.
Yep, absolutely. And if there's one thing that I've been impressed with, as far as Toy is concerned, is his ability to lane. On the Drow Ranger as well, this man gets ungodly amounts of CS. So many last hits that you think, where is he getting them all from? I'm pretty sure the lane didn't have that much creeps to begin with, but he gets them all. He's a last hitting monster.
There he is. Ooh, up top, KMP trying to go on Hong Hong. Does actually miss his leap. Very unfortunate for him. Actually gets chucked in front of the tower as well. The right clicks coming in. Nice punish there from Reapers. Take that enemy carry. Sure they lose Hong Hong. Line X! That is a very ambitious TP. Okay, alright. Reapers are very, very happy about that. Killing the carry before they get the grab onto the support. So, you know, the Slark gets absolutely nothing. Plus the support on the side of Vessuwan has no TP. He's going to have to run back to lane without any boots as well. So, you know, there's a good, like, minute here where they could potentially 2v1 the Slark and further shut down his lane now.
Absolutely. And this is a Slark who is now half a level behind his Broodmother as well, and this is actually really going to count later on. Look at RDP just going for his face.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, you got to try and bully the Slark as much as possible before the level 6, because as soon as he gets his ultimate, then all your harassment doesn't really mean too much. He'll just regen up super, super quick. So, yeah, it's good that RDP is going to be able to press this advantage while they can. And yeah, I mean, definitely start recovering the CS.
Yeah, and I would love to see a Fearless rotation to this top lane, basically as soon as RDP hits his level 6 as well. But he is bot instead.
Yeah, trying to go on towards Boom Boy. And so, yeah, that's a dead Doom for sure. Yeah, Fearless gets the kill credits, that's nice. I mean, I don't know if that was really a necessary rotation, because I mean, Toy is having a perfectly fine time. The Doom's not really getting that much out of it, but I guess they just wanted to shut him down further, just really buff up the Faceless Void's game, and yeah, just make sure he's off to a nice start. I mean, he's already level 6 at 7 minutes in.
And Fearless is now going to make his way back mid, where there is a lot of fans have gathered to see his next performance.
It was a nice swashbuckle to get out of danger there. I mean, he's still showing himself, and the supports inside of Vessuwan aren't fully retreating. They're going to try and go for this right now. Avalanche underneath the tower, dropping all the spells in the world, but still Fearless is alive. Swashbuckle off. Oh, but the final right-click chases after him. He will drop. The Sports and Reapers both rotate in, but it doesn't matter. Vessuwan are happy that they're showing up. They want to take the fight, get an extra kill, and it looks like that will be on MYN.
Yeah, he's buying as much life for this tower as possible with his own life, and it does mean that you're not facing a creep wave under tower anymore. The Fearless can come back in and def that one, but yeah, no rotation for the top lane. At least though, the Slark felt bad enough that he has just completely abandoned the lane. He's still not level 6, so you don't need to rotate towards top at all, because the Broodmother has got that one in her pocket.
Yeah, tier 1 down at 8 minutes in. That's pretty damn good. And we were saying earlier that the fact that they were able to, you know, punish the Broodmother at the early start was pretty damn nice for Vessuwan, but they've just not managed to keep that up. And yeah, this is where the Spider starts to feel really, really scary.
And this Slark is supposed to have 6 at this point in order to def, but unfortunately, it only happened right there.
Yeah, not quite the time when they would like. I mean, especially seems that now the Slark's starting to suffer a little bit, and the Faceless Void is off to a fantastic start. Let's talk about the Faceless Void. The Doom does land. The Cookie is actually a little bit off the mark, but there should still be enough damage to bring down this Faceless. And the body blocks there for Fearless actually just guarantees it. They do at least get the trade. Hong Hong, though, also dying there as the rotation was coming in from the Tiny. Okay, but that's a pretty big pickup there for Vessuwan, removing the Faceless Void. I think he was the most farmed here at one point, but yeah, it's a pretty good takedown.
Yep, good use of the first Doom. Good pressure now on his bot lane. And oh, there's a small stack here for BB to take. He's going to be very happy about that as well.
Yep, easily going to secure that. Bit of extra cash for him. And yeah, he's still, you know, a fair distance away from his Blink Dagger. Another 1,200 gold required, and then he can actually start blowing up the supports on the side of Reaper. But oh, looks like the Snapfire maybe in some danger right now. Does get shown, but BB is here, just baiting him out, and that is 100% a dead Rubik. No way to survive that. Killing spree now for BB. Potentially want to go for Fearless as well, Linax. Okay, I thought he was going to start off with the Frostbite, but just went for the Blast instead. But still, they are here. Fearless has no idea, but oh, actually, it's a very good read to run up to the trees. I say he had no idea, but clearly he did.
Yes. And, you know, as far as BB is concerned, right, who needs a Blink Dagger if they just walk right into your arms?
It's very true, you know. Just don't build one for the entire game. Save the 2,000 gold. Get something else.
Buy yourself an Echo Saber.
Feel pretty good. And my 93, oh, it does manage to get outside the Connect field, but it's just level 1 glimpse there.
3,
Finally, they do get the vision.
1.
There's my 93 down. And yeah, this is that's kind of interesting. Do you think that's a misclick on the skilling? Because all of the other disruptors we've seen, they go for a 1-3-1 build. But MYN deciding to put 2 points into the Thunderstrike nearly cost them that kill, but you know, still got it in the end.
Yeah, I don't think that is a misskill. Like, I definitely do think that he needed the extra trading capability in that lane. And he is going to max the glimpse now, I'm very sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like the essential toolkit for disruptors. Just allows you to get that +1 like we were saying earlier, just again and again. And they are now going to go for a 3-man smoke. Let's see what they find. The CBB farming up, that's a very tough kill. And they're going to ignore it. Instead, they go for that juicy target of the Slark up the top. Let's see if KMP gets this read and is able to retreat in time.
And the Static Storm.
Oh, yeah.
Literally just dark packed it, but he'll have another one. And immediate ult pop. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's kind of smart, because obviously, you know, you can just still get caught by the glimpse. So he's like, right, I definitely don't want to get hit by that. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it's a relatively, in terms of ultimates, it's not that long of a cooldown, 75 seconds.
No, absolutely not. And I guess you're the most upset about the mana, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely something that Slark struggles with. In comes BB. Hey, who needs a Blink Dagger when you got a Tumbler's Toy? Yeah, he does just as good. Still, though, the Disruptor managed to get the ultimate. KMP's in some real danger right now. Just the damage raining in from RTP. They bring him down. The rotation from Linax to try and help out BB. Is it going to make any difference? I'm not quite sure if it is. This Tiny trying to get himself away. The Rolling Thunder does actually miss the first connection, but still, just the follow-up is so relentless. They bring him down, and now potentially Linax also going to be next one to fall from the Soul and Avalanche. Double kill for RDP. But on the flip side of that, across the map, they do manage to bring down the Faceless Void, but regardless, Reapers are going to be happy with that overall.
Yeah, that's absolutely a win. Like you gotta imagine that the Faceless Void was not going to contribute for a while anyway. Sure, that's now, pushed back a little bit further again, but so has the Slark been. And in the meanwhile, you get a lot of space on the map. You get a bunch of kills. You get a bunch of presents for this Broodmother, who is now very close to finishing up the Greaves. And once those Greaves are online, especially the Doom is not going to have nearly as easy of a time just killing somebody by dropping R on them.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very difficult target to try and deal with. I mean, at that point, I guess it's all about just trying to take the engagements on the complete opposite side of the map where the Broodmother is, but obviously doing that just allows the Broodmother more space to take down your tier 2,
Yes.
and it's sort of like a catch-22 situation.
It is, especially if you don't have any push of your own, which is Vessuwan has had several kills on his bot side now, they've been under this bottom tower several times, but there have actually not been any tower consequences coming out from them, and that means that both ignoring the Brood as well as going to the Brood are bad trades, which is exactly how she likes it.
Yeah. Can't really get much done. Now tier 2 gone 13.5 minutes into the game. Okay, right. RDP doing exactly what it needs to do, but BB there with the Blink Tag reveal, jump onto Hong Hong, but still with that Guardian Greaves, they managed to keep the Rubik alive, and this could be a potentially really big turnaround. It's Cookie stolen as well. They are going to drop the old Freezing Field from the high ground. Oh, the Roller Thunder pushes BB up, but regardless, they will still find it. Toy also now getting involved with the Chronosphere, land onto KMP, but still just no damage follow-up. It looks like the Slark's going to be able to retreat, but you cannot say the same for the old Crystal Maiden.
They were really hoping to just ignore her and kill the Slark instead, but yeah, Toy has no damage to speak of, so even with that double damage, like the back end of it, not enough to deal with the Slark.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like we were saying in the lane phase, even if he does land it, where is the damage coming from? None of these other cores can actually contribute into it, so it's, yeah. I guess it is literally going to be there just to waste the duration of the Slark Ultimate, that is it. But in the mid lane, Blink Tagger forwards, Warm's Kiss is raining in, but regardless, there's just not enough lockdown. The Pango's able to get himself away. Glimpse just throwing Boom Point back towards the bot as well, and this could be a big opportunity for Reapers to just dive past the tower. They know there's no Doom. Tiny in some real danger. He is dead. My 93 is going to be careful as well. The stolen cookie, and then the Scatter Blast to secure it. And double kill for Hong Hong.
Come on, Boombui, that's like the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah. It's like, you gotta just, you gotta suck it up, just TP to the tier 2 is the only way to
He's gonna die now too.
Oh, he actually does commit the Doom. Maybe he can use that to get away. Hoof Stomp lands onto Hong Hong, but the two supports just gonna be able to slowly harass him down. And is there any support coming in from the rest of Vessuwan? I don't think so. I mean, Big Boy's pretty damn tanky. He's chuking his way out of this.
There's a Scatter Blast on the...
And the Swashbuckle. They're going to use the Rolling Thunder, but Boom Boy hiding in the perfect spot right now. Going to jump out, but the Fade Bolt into the back. Hong Hong eventually brings him down, but here is the rest of Vessuwan. They're going to try and turn this around. They got the grab onto the Pangolier. He will die there to the Crystal Maiden. Fortunately, though, for the supports, this tier 1 tower is still standing. They might be able to try and get themselves out, but KMP's feeling hungry. Okay, can't find it. They have to back on out.
No. The use of the Rolling Thunder there was a little bit desperate, but I think he realized that his time was running out.
Yeah, it was good little bit of foot movement there from Boot Boy to nearly actually evade that entirely. Oh, actually, by the tier 2 mids, Toy just gets caught. All the control in the world, and the Freezing Field secures the kill.
Now that is really not supposed to happen. Yeah, he was feeling encouraged by the fact that several heroes were showing on bottom. Ignoring the fact that the biggest burst damage, which is Void's greatest enemy in these fights, is on the Tiny, and Tiny was definitely not showing. And Defo the bot tower, once again, KMP.
Oh my lord, he just disappeared. Alright, Slark could not withstand that. Easy double kill for Fearless. That was, man, that Slark just vanished. I mean, he's only got 1000 HP actually. He didn't get the opportunity to put his power trades onto strength, and that clearly showed he just had no HP to work with.
Yeah, I might actually favor him trying to finish an Echo Saber before splitting it up for the BKB again. Just because I'm not sure he's going to get enough time to fully farm this BKB. Like, his side of the map is already gone, and his bottom tower is still standing on half HP. But Rubik has... Well, he won't have Scatter Blast for much longer, but right now Hong Hong can still be on his bot lane for as long as he wants to be, and every single wave is going to disappear. Yes. Not this time, though. They have something else on the menu.
Yeah, it's the much more high priority target of the Roshan. Gonna get that first Aegis. I mean, do you even bother giving it to Toy? Well, I think just give it to Fearless, right? I mean, Toy's not really doing too much. Yeah, the Pangalier's obviously doing all the work. They're going to use this haste route to charge straight into the mid where they've seen Boom Boy. The glimpse literally pushes him about 1 unit away. So big value, but hey, Boom Boy's happy about that.
Yeah, biggest disruptor counter, right? Standing still.
Yeah, that is it. Just become a tower and do perfectly fine. Meanwhile, though, jump forwards there for the Pangolier. Going to get hit by the Doom as well. First life is gone, but he has that Aegis. We'll see if Reapers want to try and take this fight, but so far it's just the 2 supports nearby. Going to try and disengage. There's going to be a Stack Storm to silence him up. Mormon's Kiss is raining in. The glimpse onto BB, but it doesn't matter. Hong Hong, surely he's going to die here. Eventually, yeah, the blast is out. They will bring him down. BB getting focused up. RDP joining the fray. Tigers cannot escape. And so far it's a 1-for-1 trade, but I mean, I suppose Vessuwan did get rid of the Aegis. So maybe they're happy with that.
Yeah, maybe, but you did spend the Doom, and I don't think that there's any reason for a Reaper to stand still now. They're just going to come for your buildings, going to put this Broodmother on the tower.
Yeah, tower will not last long. It's going to be another objective closing out, and yeah, it's be 2 tier 2 towers going before the 20-minute mark. This is exactly what Reaper wanted to happen. Dare I say, this is the most confident and like dominant showing that I've seen them throughout this entire tournament. 6,000 gold lead, 7,000 now at 19 minutes in, and they could finally take their first map.
Yeah, and it's not even like they've had the easiest game, right? Toy is still not very happy with where his net worth is at. He's still going to have the burden of solo carrying this one at some point. But you know what? The amount of space that has been bought for him has been absolutely phenomenal. And this gold lead is very, very much a problem for Vessuwan, who also don't have that much damage. And like a Doom needs to be ahead in order to have a good game. He is not.
Yeah, it's like that one of the main heroes in the game where you've got to have like that big inflated gold advantage just so your hero feels useful. But having less gold, you just feel really useless. Like there's not too much this guy can do. Especially as some of his net worth's invested into the Hand of Midas. He's finally got, he's got his BKB up. I think he just bought a Blink Dagger as well.
Correct.
So, okay, there's a clear sequence where they can try and take a fight now, Raul. But who is the primary target for this Doom? Is it the Faceless Void or is it the Pangolier?
I think it's the Pangolier.
Yeah.
Pango is all of their damage right now. Oh, my man, he's building a 4-staff. Fearless. Mwah.
He did say they needed Iron, and one's coming out for MYN as well. I mean, he's about 700 gold away from his. Hong Hong, he's chosen to ignore it. He went for the greedier Blink Dagger himself. He just wants to get involved.
Rubik's, and he doesn't even have a shard. Rubik players, man, I tell you.
Yeah, they just want the flashy stuff. They want to guarantee they steal those cool ultimates and. They're hungry for the MVP. That's what they want.
Yes, they are. I mean, and it's hard to begrudge them. Like a really good Rubik player, you're like, fine.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there are certain games where a Rubik really does like put the whole team on his back, and they're just able to like look so flashy. Not really necessary this game.
Oh, Doom on the point.
Oh, Toy. He's very much caught out there in the wrong place at the wrong time. He did have actually a high ground ward, but I guess he just got caught out from the Blink Dagger there from the Doom. Yeah, Toy, he's suffering from his position. There's a couple of times now he's died from this, and it looks like 193 in some danger as well. The jump forward there from BB trying to make the
nice Static Storm.
Yeah, locking them both in. They can't go in. The Rolling Thunder as well, but does actually miss. But the Blink Dagger is going to be able to get the first kill on towards the Snapfire. Boom Boy as well to the high ground. No Doom available with the BKB trying to stand his ground. Meanwhile, KMP focusing on towards the Pango with the help of BB, but it's just so damn tanky. Fearless can't drop. He actually jumped into the arms of Boom Boy, who will get the finishing touch there. But still, Vessuwan having to disengage. Boom Boy turning around, nearly got the whack there onto Hong Hong, but good telekinesis, making space. Looks like Boom Boy, he will end up dropping, or is he? Jump force of BB, there's good lockdown freezer field as well. The Doom, he's able to get himself out. The Glimpse dragging him back in. Eventually he will fall, but it's going to cost RDP his life. The kill onto Hong Hong as well. And it looks like my MYM, the only survivor there for Reapers.
Yeah, and that is really unfortunate. Like, that entire fight is really just based on the fact that there is not enough lockdown or enough damage to actually kill any of Vessuwan's heroes, so they get to move in and out there. And especially like the PKB from the Doom didn't do that much, but it just meant that he could stick onto the Rubik and make sure that the Rubik didn't actually contribute to any of like his burst damage, which is something that the Rubik does have, into the fight taking place further on.
Yeah. That was probably like the best situation that Vessuwan could hope for, and it feels like that's the first time in a long time where they've taken a fight and KMP's actually survived as well. Like every other fight, he's been getting involved, but yeah, he just hasn't been able to actually survive long enough to get his work done. And yeah, he's trying to build in towards the Ags next, but he's every single component away. He's very, very far off completing it. And maybe once he gets on the line, he can start doing more Slark things. But has to sort of abandon the bot lane. And he does see a few members of Reapers heading towards him with these deep observer boards.
Yeah, the Slark things, right? We haven't really seen any Slark things yet at all. To be fair, we have also not seen any Void things. Toy is 0-4-3.
Yeah, he's doing my pub carry things, just going off on his own on the map and dying. You know, that's what I see a lot of the time. And Toy, just making sure he does that as well.
Thought you were gonna say that's what I do a lot of the time.
Nah, I'm a support player. I'm always in there, mate. You know, I always 100% come into those fights and feeding away an extra kill. That's my job.
Yep. Doom, once again. Oh, he is toast.
He is dead. Oh, MYN also getting involved right now. Morton's Kisses couldn't actually find the Disruptor in the trees. Regardless, he should be able to bring him down. Stack Storm used. I think Morton's Kisses, though, was actually just stolen away. Alright, so Hong Hong, he's finally got one of those flashy skills that he really wanted. And,
Yes.
Boom Boy, he's finding any opportunity there to drop a tip, Trying to tilt out his enemy.
And the force counter that. Hey. You're lucky that this isn't a DPC, friend.
Yeah.
He's salty.
That is, like, if just replying at all shows that he's a bit salty, all chatting.
Yeah.
You can't do that, man. You're just going to wind yourself up more.
Exactly. If I see it, I'm like, ha, we're in his head. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, he's now 5 deaths in a row, still yet to get a kill. I mean, he is actually still ahead of the Slark by about, 1,400 gold in terms of net worth, but he's just, he just feels like a chrono bot at this point. That's all he can really do. I mean, he's had to invest more of his net worth into defensive items here for the Lincoln Sphere, so even when they do get their chrono down, there's still not that much damage that can actually be done in it. Oh, he might just be dead for a second time here. They're ready and waiting.
No.
Gonna drop the combo, but actually there's not that much burst damage. He didn't go for the avalanche toss there for BB. Now the turnaround is here. Chronosphere gets used with the stolen Mortimer's Kisses. It's gonna be the dead Snapfire for sure. BB pop with the BKB and just gonna TP straight on out. Unless there's a bash! Wish there is, Toy. Finally get something a bit more lucky done in this game. And they managed to find a couple of kills, but still he does not get a single one of them.
Yeah, and this was extremely reliant on Hong Hong actually having the stolen kisses.
Yeah, finally they're actually able to pull off that combo. Took 25 minutes into the game, but hey, it's there.
It is there, and they have colonized the enemy side of the map again. I would like to see the Radiant put down some more aggressive vision right now as well, but there's not actually any wards on any of these supports.
Have they got some left in the stash? Actually, we can't actually see, can we? When we look on
No.
it. That's kind of why they should really put that in so we can see how many smokes and wards they have left.
No, you're supposed to be counting those, and I'm not.
Yeah, I'm.
It's gonna be straight up with you.
It's too early in the day to be counting wards. That's another whole separate job. Too much for me. But I kind of think Vessuwan are sort of happy with how this game's progressing. I mean, like, the net worth advantage hasn't increased for Reapers for... Well, it's close to about 10 minutes now. It's been sat around this sort of 6,000 gold advantage. So, I mean, sure, they are behind, but their lead isn't getting any worse. It's sort of, yeah, it's balancing itself out.
Yep. And they're going to get a little bit more of a window here as well from the Doom not actually going for that Aghanim Scepter first. Because we are going to be seeing the Octarine core first, which to me indicates probably that he's going to look to target other heroes than just Toy, because Toy is not going to give his Lincoln Sphere away to Fearless, right? That's just not happening.
No. Yeah, he's position 1. They're far too greedy to help out the other cores. It's all about his own game.
Oh, I mean, I say that, but there is actually I do think another Lincoln's in the work here. Yep, Fearless is going to have his own, so never mind, he doesn't need to. And I think that's a little bit of a misser from the Doom here. Like, you can still switch this up. You can still go into the Aghanims instead and make sure that you actually get the stick on top of this Faceless Void. But otherwise, he's going to be a full item. And I don't want to say behind. It is going to be very useful. You're going to get a lot of threat out of it towards any of the other heroes, especially like the Rubik, the Disruptor. But
yeah, might
as far as the core matchup goes, yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree. It does make a lot of sense. I mean, what other spells have they got to even break the Lincoln so he can land this Doom? Slark's not got any. Frostbite, yeah. I suppose Tree Grab, does that trigger Lincoln Sphere? It does, doesn't it? If you actually like target the hero itself.
Yes, I think it does.
Okay, so Tiny's got a couple. Snapfire doesn't have any. So yeah, it's not the easiest thing in the world to try and deal with this Lincolns at all. So, yeah, definitely Vessuwan's going to struggle with that one. And so, Roshan number 2, minute and 20 seconds away. I'm sure that's going to be the next main objective for both of these two teams to consider. And I mean, they've both got some wards in the general area. There's actually still this Observer ward for UD Vessuwan on the high ground, which hasn't actually been dealt with yet from the side of
They got a lot of info out of that one too. It's one of the reasons that KMP is so far down into the jungle.
So Lionax, unfortunately, in some danger. Nice little hopway there with the cookie. Doom also actually gets committed for Fearless, but he's already rolling up. He's going to try and disengage right now. Instead, BB into the backlines. Warmer's Kiss is raining in. Hong Hong looks like he is down. RDP going to be able to scurry away, though. It's a fast old spider. It's all the webs on this side of the map, so he's feeling quite comfortable. Jump forwards from Toy. He doesn't have the chrono available. He actually gets hit from the stomp. Turn around. They control him up. Is the burst damage there to get the kill? It is Toy stepping out of position. Where is the tip? Someone tip him. Tilt him more. Doesn't think they're going to do it. Jump Force and Boot Boy's Hoof Stomp actually ends up missing the connection there on towards the Spider, but instead, technically, he's actually getting the stun onto BB, so he's jumping quite aggressively. But still, no one's quite getting focused down just yet. Jumping forwards once again. Boom Boy taking a lot of damage. The shield crashes there for Fearless to get the finishing touch. Minor Free trying to disengage. The freezing field for Lionax trying to chase after the Reapers as they're trying to just run away from this Maiden. And she's too damn slow to keep chase. Now it's over. See if Reapers want to re-engage. They got the Cyber Device onto KMP, but again, no follow-up. Instead, trying to burst down onto the Disruptor. Quick damage is there. They bring him down. BB getting low, but they can't quite find the finish. Instead, Hong Hong, he's brought back for this. He's going to get brought down. The Stolen Frostbite will actually secure the kill on towards BB. Another bite back is here from MYN. KMP stuck inside the kinetic field. There's no way he can get himself out. Controlled and down by 93. Also in some danger. The Glimpse dragging him back into the waiting arms of the Broodmother. And is the last casualty of this fight. Deaths are bound from both squads, but definitely favoring Reapers as Roshan has now respawned.
You're saying tip him, tilt him more, but I think he's already like tilted enough to be like floating out into space. He is not. Toy is not on the same planet as us anymore.
That was a. Maybe he just forgot he didn't have chrono, because that was a jump that looked like he wanted to press R, and he was like, shit, I don't have it. I don't have it, guys, save me. And unfortunately,
checking your pockets for your keys, they're not in there.
Okay, well, okay, they feel like they need to give him the Aegis, like, and rightly so. He does need it this time. 0 and 6, and potentially with that IOM, he could start surviving a bit longer in these engagements. But maybe he also felt a bit more confident the fact that he had the Lincolns. He's like, all right, you know, surely they can't kill me now, but there's still more than enough AoE damage and control that the Faceless Void just gets annihilated. It's pretty lucky for him that this Broodmother is very, very scary.
Yep. And I think in the rest of the fight there, it really shows the value of those 4 staffs disengaging from the Slark, getting out of dodge for any of the cookies. I think it's one of the reasons that Reaper ultimately do take that fight, because they get to reposition that fight, dodge a couple of the spells, and finally like compose themselves enough to actually start going for Boom Booey in the back first.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's an added point as well. Remember, like early on in the game, we were saying how the Broodmother just completely set up around this sort of top area of the jungle with all these webs. And that's the place that Vessuwan don't really want to take the fight, because that's where the Broodmother's most powerful. And yeah, they just walk straight into that sort of kill zone area where the Broodmother can just run around, juke out endlessly. And Yeah, clearly showed and able to easily take the fight. But still, the net worth lead hasn't really changed. It's still 6,000 gold.
Look at that. Spiders scouting out, getting info. They're seeing if they can find anybody to immediately smoke on. That was a very fast move from Reaper. And I don't think that they get anything out. No, Lion Axe? Lion Axe. That's what they get.
Go for the Glimmer TP, but yeah, Glimpse puts a stop to that little attempt. Okay, it is a free kill. Not the most highest priority target in the world, just a position 5 Crystal Maiden, but you know, just trying to shut down any sort of space that Vessuwan are trying to work with. BB does show himself at the bot, but Reaper's not interested in going back for the tiny kill. Looks like maybe they want to try and shove mids. I mean, they do have a catapult, but not many other creeps.
And they're at a pretty rough spot right now because sure, Toy has the Aegis, he is decently farmed by now, but it is entirely possible to just get tossed back and lose him twice.
Yeah, definitely is. We see more of his net worth as well getting committed towards these defensive items now for BKB. Like, he just really doesn't have damage. It's all on this Maelstrom, which was his first item in the game, but not been able to build anything else. But surely, he's got BKB now, he's got Lincolns, he can finally start getting some actual DPS on the board.
Yeah, so upgrading the Maelstrom first on the board, I think.
Yeah, don't make the most sense for sure. Only got 700 gold, so you know, still got a bit of time to work with. Ooh, he is going to jump straight into Lion Axe. Still, the Maiden will walk away, but instead they managed
the big
to find
kills in the
Fearless.
back.
Doom is going to be there. The heals from the Guardian Greaves should be able to make Fearless survive through the dot damage. I mean, it is coming in pretty quickly, but it's actually a reflected stolen Doom, yeah. KMP gets punished hard. It's a very nice little counterplay skill up there from Reaper to turn that fight completely around. And now no Slark for a whole minute, no buyback either. This could be the time that Reaper's shoved down mid.
Yeah, I mean, that will still waste about 30 seconds. Their wave wasn't exactly in a great position to begin with, but you're going to get 30 seconds without the Slark. You're going to get a Broodmother mostly on the tower if you can actually threaten the backlines with the Void. And you do have to do that, because as soon as you lose these spiders, you lose all of your pushing potential. Again, it's just going to have to be like the Void slapping it. That this...
Yeah.
This is not the way, RDP.
Oh, more Muskis is used just to try and push. Can Hong Hong get in the position to steal that? Doesn't look like it. Oh, jumps in. Okay, he actually does get it. He did.
Okay, nice.
MY3 didn't use the spell afterwards. So that's a very nice steal there for Hong Hong. Oh, I want to say as well, that was the most value shovel ever. You know, MYN, he's been digging up these salves all game, and then just gave them all to Fearless, and as a result, he's back up to full HP after pretty much being next to death. And yeah, you can't fault the shovel. Keep that in the entire game. It's just so much work.
It is. It's nice to keep these really poor supports busy with, right? Just have them do something. Slark is back. The Vessuwan have got to be scared because they know there's kisses on top of Chrono.
Yeah, really scary now to deal with. We've got to make sure they stay spread, no clumping, or they get punished hard. And still is just Toy beating into these buildings. But as we were saying earlier, he's just got no damage. It takes forever to do anything. And it looks like, yeah, Reapers are going to give up and they will just fall back. Oh, or just a fake back, actually. They're going to use this smoke. They could
Dangerous fake back.
Yeah, they're going to
They're losing the Aegis.
Yeah, and Vessuwan have gone for their own smoke, but they're actually wrapping out in a different direction. So maybe Reapers can just like run high ground perhaps and burst down the building before Vessuwan can react, but obviously they don't really know they've moved out either.
This is just a guessing game.
Yeah.
Who has the most experience? Who guesses correctly? And right now, neither of them seem really prepared to fully make the call.
Yeah, we're playing very, very cautiously right now. No one wants to potentially throw away. Ooh, I was saying about throwing away. Fearless jumps in for a very aggressive swashbuckler there. There is going to be the Axe Doom finally on board. Fearless can't really get himself away. He will drop. Toy as well has the beacon be activated, but with the Doom, he can't leave, he can't do anything. He's trying to walk himself out, but nice kinetic field. Locking the 3 cores on the side of Vessuwan in. It allows Reapers to try and disengage, but there is going to be the Chronosphere. Lock it down to KMP. Do they have enough damage with the stolen wall?
Absolutely.
They do. KMP gets annihilated. Going to be a potential extra +1 here onto Boom Boy as he was lingering around. And no one from Vessuwan wants to try and help out. So that is an easy peasy 2 kills there for Reapers. Alright, so surely now they can take down some buildings. I mean, they don't have the Pangolier, but regardless, No Slark, no Doom. RDP, yeah, just feeling so confident to run straight up to the high ground, and this will definitely be the first set of barracks for the game. Actually, never mind, jump in aggressively. He got the grab onto the Maiden. Jump forwards from BB, trying to make the space. Burst damage onto Hong Hong with the Scout Blast, but still the Rubik survives. Going to be able to disengage. Lion Axe does drop. BB going to follow. And that is not at all what they wanted there. Going to be a buyback from the Tiny, but regardless, they've already lost the set of barracks. And Toy now poking on the mid set.
Finally breaking through. I mean, it was really just a question of patience there, right? And getting the Slark out of the way means that if you get any other fight, you're going to do well there. But he's going to be back again because they take these buildings so dang slowly. Oh, it's torture.
Not speedy whatsoever. So they'll get the melee. Okay, they're actually going to linger for the range barracks, and BB's going to try and punish that. Jumping in forwards, so he's going to control. RDP, though, can't quite finish it. It's set BB. He's getting absolutely destroyed. Finally manages to get the BKB off, but the bashes from Toy just denies any chance of escape. He will drop. Now KMP jumping in aggressively himself onto RDP, but where's the actual damage follow-up? He's just landing the leashes, but that is it. Fearless thinking about popping the Rolling Thunder. Instead, they're holding on to their spells, and still the range barracks will end up dropping just from the attacks of the catapults. Okay. 2 sets gone. And Roshan potentially up in 8 seconds time. We'll see how quick it's going to be. But it seems like Reapers, they want to just keep the pressure going. Obviously, that was a dieback from the Tiny, so they know he's down still for a full minute.
That is most of the burst damage off the field. So Reaper's going to feel very confident here, continuing the siege, knowing that the tossback is out of the picture as well, right? And we haven't really seen one yet, but that is always one of those potent high ground defense tools. And here we go again.
Very aggressive jump from Toy. They got the lockdown to KMP, and it's just so easy. He's down 70 again. No buyback from him. Fearless also into the back lines. Unfortunately, you can't bounce off of the Ancient there, dude. Just rolling straight through, but regardless, Lion Axe will just get brought down. He is dead. Boomboy now committing a Doom to try and focus on towards the Pangolier, but where is the damage? He's all on his own. And it looks like eventually he's going to be able to bring down Fearless. He does drop. Boomboy in some danger there. He's going to have to try and retreat. Multiple buybacks being expended now from both squads, but Boomboy is just gone. And buyback from Boomboy as well. There is one available for Lion Axe, but the greedy CM is holding on to it for now. But it's too late to save Megas. That's already been secured. Tier 4's now getting beaten into. Is there any hope Vessuwan can take this?
I don't think so. Toy is not shutting up. Come on, man.
I wish I knew what he was saying. I wish I could read it. Just to know what sort of, like...
I'm very glad that I don't.
Oh dear. I mean, even the snap just drops a tip onto him. No, regardless, you know, Vessuwan, they do lose, but they got the tilt going in. Actually, at one point to say, Vessuwan, they had to take this series 2-0 to try and force tiebreakers, but that's now out of the question. I don't think they can qualify now.
Yeah, and that might make a really big difference for how they play the next one as well. I'm hoping, of course, to see the team give exactly as much as they would have otherwise, but I don't know, or maybe it'll set them free. That is the alternative, right? Because I do think some of their moves looked a little bit like the Doom seemed very convinced that he needed to get his own items at the ready first as well.
Yeah, it's you know, standard Doom plays, isn't it? You know, they get their hand in Midas. All they want is just try and bump up their net worth and get their own items online. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. He went for the Octarine first and then the Ag. So maybe if he'd done that the other way around, they could have taken some better fights with it. It's hard to tell. But
it is very hard to tell because you're going to have to fight into Chrono no matter what you do, and you gotta just have the confidence. Like, all right, he doesn't have any damage, Toy doesn't have any damage, and we can stop the Rubik from stealing anything that does any damage. And then we take the fight afterwards. But especially when KNP hasn't had a very good game himself. Right, he's the one that has to make that call, and I completely understand that he didn't. But looking back, that was probably their only shot.
Yeah, it was, and unfortunately, they did end up missing that shot. And yeah, well, I mean, Reapers, that is their first win of the entire tournament. I mean, they know they didn't qualify to go through to the playoffs, but it doesn't matter, man. That's a feel-good moment. Even with their carry tilted as hell, they were still able to win and get the big W. But yeah, I mean, Vessuwan, obviously, as we're saying, they can't go through to the groups now. So how do you think that's going to affect this second game? Are they going to, like, you know, just try some wackier strats or something? Or what do you think they can do here?
Yeah. What I would probably do is let something through that you want to practice against. Like, I don't know, give them Lena, see what happens. Give them Brood again, see if you can do something about it now, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, alternatively, they might say, no, this is still unofficial. We still, try everything we can, and they might still go really try hard.
Yeah.
It's a coin toss at this point. If I knew them personally, I would probably be able to say something, but unfortunately, I have not made the acquaintance of any of these fine gentlemen, so I cannot.
Yeah, that is fair enough. You know, it's all a guessing game from our end. But yeah, that is the end of game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 will be coming up in about 10 minutes' time. So if you want to see that, don't go anywhere. We will be back momentarily.